Hey guys, welcome back to the last part of this interview. A friend here, Paul Acapenti.
How long have you known me?
Acapenti.
Thank you.
I kind of had a hiccup there, but
Okay.
Paul Acapenti, good friend of mine. We talked about a variety of things: apologetics, family units. So the last section of this.
Coming down the home stretch here.
Oh yeah. So, first question: what are some life lessons that didn't make sense when you were younger, and now that you've grown up and matured, make more sense?
Well, sure. I'm sure there's, quite a few things.
Right.
I think, a lot of times there's these sayings that your parents have when you're little and you're like, yeah, okay, Mom, yeah, because they just keep always saying these things, like honesty is the best policy. We all go, yeah, okay. Right. Doesn't mean we actually do that.
Right.
But and then understand, what is that, and why is that true? Because certainly sometimes honesty is not the best policy. There can be examples of that, because sometimes honesty can actually hurt somebody.
Right.
Okay, but in a general sense, honesty is the best policy. Mm-hmm. There are times where honesty can get you in trouble, right? Yeah, okay, if I have to be honest, you're right. I failed at this, or I, am guilty of this. But the reason that's the best policy is because it shows that you're just being truthful. Hey, we're all people. We all make mistakes. Sometimes by accident, sometimes on purpose. But if you're the type of person that actually would come clean, I respect those kinds of people. And I think in most cases, other people, respect that. It's the guy who always wants to cover it up and always wants to look perfect that we kind of go, yeah, no, I don't think so.
Right.
Because we're all like that.
Yeah, we all have that capacity.
So that would certainly be one of those.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's suited me well. Okay. It's actually given me some advantages over time when you finally just say, you know what? Yeah, I screwed up. So.
Yeah. So next question.
Yeah.
What are 3 to 5 books that you've read or, podcasts listened to that have made an impact, and how have they impacted your life?
Okay. Yeah. Boy, there's lots of those. I know kind of the stock answer is the Bible. But, I mean, it's true. I mean, the Bible is amazing. I mean, if it's the Word of God, which I believe it is, it has the power to change people. I just think of how the Bible has changed history. That's all you got to ask.
Yeah.
Has the Bible changed history? Yes, it has.
Yeah.
In a tremendous way.
Yeah.
So, yes, that would be one book.
Okay.
Another book, this author we just talked about, Greg Koukl, an apologist, he's written several books.
Yep.
And they're 2 of my favorites. One is called Tactics. It's really just a book that talks about how do we have a discussion with a person, who maybe doesn't agree with us. I watch a lot of news, TV shows, talk radio hosts. You listen to these chat rooms, and I guess the communication of the day is just scream louder than the other guy. I mean, it's even in politics. That's all it is. It's name calling. It's it's really childish.
Right.
And this is why we don't get anything done anymore.
All right.
And we're all aware of it. We're all upset with our government because that's how it is.
Yeah.
So to be able to actually have a good conversation with someone who disagrees with you, but do it in a way that is respectful, that is honest, that is truthful, why not? I mean, that kind of sounds like a good thing to me, right? Who knows? Maybe I'll even learn something, or maybe they'll learn something.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
nice. So
that would be another book, Tactics. Yep. That's what that teaches. I mentioned he has 2 books. Another one's called The Story of Reality. I didn't really learn anything new in that book. Again, I've been listening to Greg for a long time, but the book is genius in the fact how it lays out the information. It lays it out in such a method that is incredibly orderly, simple, and understandable. Now, he talks about some very complicated issues, so to be able to do that simply and understandably is a true art. And he just did an absolute top-notch job. So that was 3 books there.
Yep, there you
go. Some other books. I like a lot of C.S. Lewis.
Yeah.
Stuff. It's a little bit difficult to read because he was English and he sort of has that way about how he speaks. But once you get used to it, it was good. Bonhoeffer, what was the book he wrote?
Was it How Now Shall We Live?
No, that's Colson, Chuck Colson.
My mistake.
Bonhoeffer wrote several books, but there's one, The Cost of Discipleship.
Oh, okay.
Again, a very difficult book to read, because again, he was German, so there's a translation issue, plus he was also an incredible intellectual, so he speaks like way over your head to begin with. Even if he spoke in English, it would be difficult.
Right.
But if you take the time, and it's a lot of effort, a lot of time, there are some tremendous gems in there. That was a great book. Knowing God by J.I.Packer, I believe is the author. That was a great book. For me, it was great because, I mean, over time, you start to have your own understanding of Christianity. And even within the Christian community, there's differences of opinions about different things.
Right.
Okay. But as you're forming these different ideas, sometimes you start to wonder, well, geez, am I actually correct?
Right.
Or am I just
valid?
Am I just believing this because this is what I've been told?
Right.
So when I read his book, it really confirmed a lot of the things that I was already thinking, and so it was more of a confirmation of things.
Nice.
So those are a handful of books.
Those are some good books. Yeah. So another question, third question, how do you feel about the concept money is evil?
Money is evil. Well, money is paper. So I don't think paper is evil.
Right. Right.
Inanimate objects are not evil.
Right.
Inanimate objects are inanimate. They don't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, we need money.
Right. People are not inanimate objects. They are free-willed beings. And free-willed beings will then take inanimate objects and do good or evil with them. So I guess the concept of money is evil is not so true, but the love of money, which is actually a verse in the scriptures, can be evil. So if you think money is the ultimate power, in other words, you love it and you worship money, that's evil.
Yeah, that's a good point. Sums it up nicely. That's a clear distinction. Money by itself or the love of money.
Right.
So
I mean, we see the same thing when it comes to like gun control.
Right.
Guns are inanimate objects. They don't go around killing people.
No.
They sit there and do nothing, is what they do.
Yeah.
Okay. People do evil things with guns. People are the problem.
Right.
Not the guns.
Yeah,
yes, can people do more evil with a gun than they can with a pencil? Well, when I mean a sharp implement.
Right.
Actually,
right.
you can do a lot of evil with a pencil. You
You
can write.
could.
You can write things.
You could.
That's more
Yes.
powerful than a gun, by the way. So,
Yeah. So,
all right.
fourth question. So, say you're a new believer. What are some crucial things that you would want to be told or learn in hindsight? Now that you've been so many years in the faith.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Right. Unfortunately, the American church, in general, again, not every church, but in general, has not done a very good job of discipling. They have also succumbed to the culture in many ways. So instead of standing their ground and being who they are, they have made some compromises in an attempt to try to get more people to come to church. Hey, if we sort of relax this rule, more people will come.
Right.
Okay. Well, you do that here, and then you do it again, and then you do it again, and before you know it, you don't stand for anything anymore.
Right. Right.
Okay, so this has happened, and this was partially some of my experience in church as well. So I guess some of the things I would want to know up front if I was a new believer is I would want to know what's the truth. What is Christianity? Don't sugarcoat this for me.
Right.
Don't tell me a lie to make it sound good and then bait and switch me later on.
Yeah.
Tell it as it is.
Yep.
If I reject it or if I'm offended by it, well, that's my problem.
Right.
And in many cases, I kind of wonder now, back in the day, if somebody had just been totally upfront with me, I kind of wonder what I would have done.
That's a good.
Maybe I would have been offended, or maybe I would have been like, wow.
Yeah.
This is hardcore stuff you're telling me, but, at least let me make that decision.
Yeah.
And let me make an informed decision.
Yeah. Who knows where you'd be today if,
Sure.
certain things were different with that.
I was kind of brought up in a time where the emphasis on God was that God was love. Period.
Right.
So God loves everybody.
Right.
God's forgiving, so do whatever you want. Don't worry about it. God's going to take care of you. As long as you're a good person.
Right. Right.
Whatever that is.
And that actually segues into the last question, which is, what are your thoughts on the idea that everyone's a good person?
Oh, it's a lie. There's your simple answer.
Right, right.
What do you mean?
So
I'm always going to ask, when you say good, what do you mean?
So what I mean is, say they're a person where they've got a family, they've got kids, they go to work every day, they pay their bills, they're, by moral standards, they're an alright person. They don't do that bad of things.
So what I would ask is, whose moral standard?
Right, exactly.
Okay,
So on a person.
Many people would consider themselves a good person because within the particular culture they're in, that's the standard.
Right.
They behave in a way that is acceptable within that culture.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Nazis did that.
Right.
Within their culture,
and they weren't.
They did what they did, and it was acceptable.
Right. So
now, many people disagree with them,
of course.
by the way.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. And this gets into what we call, moral absolutes or moral relativism.
Right. So.
Okay, but the concept of a good person.
Yeah.
Okay.
That.
So we've got to ask the question: what is the measure? What is the standard we are measuring from?
Right.
If I am measuring myself in comparison to other people, well, then I might be better than these few, but I'm not as good as these.
Right.
Okay. And I guess you could basically look at every person and kind of make a scale and put them on a place within the scale. And so if that was the standard, you could say that there were some that are on the higher end and they are better or good,
right,
and some are not as good. Okay, but that is not the Christian standard.
No.
The Christian standard is perfection. Okay, why? You say, well, no one's perfect. Exactly. No one except God.
Right.
God is perfect. Right. This is, again, taught in the Scriptures. Jesus, being God, was perfect. He was sinless. He never sinned. That's perfect. Morally perfect. Okay. If you break just one law, now you're imperfect.
Yep.
And if God's just, we talked about this before, if God's just, He's going to punish you for the law you broke. You cannot do lots of other good things to make up for the bad thing you did.
Right.
By the way, you're supposed to do all those other good things anyways. So you're already doing, so to do good, you're just doing what you're supposed to do to begin with. So you don't get any extra credit for being good.
Right.
You're supposed to be good.
Right.
Okay? The government doesn't go around giving you $1,000 because, hey, Chris, you were really good today. Here's $1,000. No. You did good. Well, good for you.
Yeah.
Keep doing it.
Right.
And as soon as you do bad, we're going to come knocking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay? So that is the standard. Okay? So there are no good people because all you have to do is sin one time.
Right.
When I say sin, I don't mean you actually have to physically do something.
Right.
You can mentally do something.
Oh, yeah.
Your motive can make something wrong.
Yeah, I mean...
Your thoughts can
Exactly.
be evil. Even though nobody else knows it, God knows it.
Yeah.
And so you'll be judged perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
So I think if people understood it in that way, they would realize there is no such thing as a good person.
Right. It's a feel-good thing to make you feel good.
Right.
Yeah. I'm such a good person. I'm better than them.
Right.
Yeah. But it's exactly as you say, there's no good people. Yeah. So, all right. Well, Paul, that concludes the questions for this part in this interview. And
thanks, Chris.
So thanks for coming over and doing all this.
It's a pleasure coming over and sitting down and... Well, I didn't have any coffee on your couch because I'd be up all night if I did that.
Right.
But,
I made that mistake a few days ago.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Hope you all enjoy our conversation and maybe you learned a little something. Comment in the comment section. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Take care and Merry Christmas.